What's up everyone, it's Marcus from Logic Effects, and today I'm going to discuss the sensitive topic of whether Forex trading is a halal activity and how to get into this game if you're a practicing Muslim. Now, from the research that I've conducted with the extensive discussions with my Muslim peers, we've came to the conclusion that Forex trading is both halal and haram depending on the intent and behavior of the individual investor. So what do I mean by this when I say Forex trading, is it halal? Well, the closest definition that we could come to is that it's a suitable activity where an investor exchanges currencies for profit that abides by Islamic law and beliefs. The term halal itself is the Arabic word for what permits as acceptable within Islamic law. So if something is not halal, it is forbidden and is haram. So we're essentially trying to break down the aspects of trading that abide by Islamic law and determine whether a Muslim is allowed to trade with respect to their beliefs. So let's get right into it. Within Islam, the risk or gharar is one of the main benchmarks to whether an activity is gambling or not, as gambling is seen as a non-halal activity. The question of whether Forex trading is halal depends on three main factors, and I've just put them on the screen right here. Is it gambling or is it an investment? Is there interest charged? And is it actually productive to society? Now, in most cases, Forex trading takes place through derivative contracts, where investors do not actually own the currency, but rather are speculating on price fluctuations with arrangements, a bit like on a football team or a race car, but for currencies. You're basically betting on the direction of price without actually owning the currency itself. Now, this type of Forex trading creates a grey area on its suitability within Islamic law. Now, within Islam, gambling is actually forbidden. Therefore, derivatives trading, where investors do not own the underlying asset, may be construed as an activity that's against Muslims' religious beliefs due to that nature of speculation. So let's delve into this and answer whether Forex trading is gambling or not. So let's tackle this first issue and see what we can come to. Interestingly, the Prophet, peace be upon him, allowed certain forms of risk-taking provided that the individual was a participant in the activity. So what do I mean by this? In history, for example, horse riders were actually allowed to place bets on themselves, on their skill against other horse riders in a race because they were participants. But onlookers were not allowed to place bets on the rider that they would think would win. So participation, to a degree, seems to hold weight to whether Islam views it as gambling or otherwise. Now, this is really important to remember. So you as a trader, there is a very solid argument that stipulates as long as you are a participant in the market, provided you have a strategy and skill that is involved in your activity, it would mirror the same principle as a horse rider waging on themselves. However, if there is no strategy with no edge, then this would clearly fall into the category of gambling. So just make sure you have a clear trading strategy that has an edge to overcome the haram activity of gambling. Examples include approaches like the global macro approach, which has statistically proven to have an edge historically. And now if you're interested in an approach like that, I'll put a link in the description if you want to learn more about it. The next thing to look at is interest charges. In Islam, interest is straight out haram. There's no two ways about it. So this means if you're trading on an interest charging Forex account, your activity will be deemed as haram and against the religion. Due to this, brokers have introduced Islamic Forex trading accounts, also known as a non-riba Forex account, which allows investors to trade without interest, keeping their activity above board, or halal, as we would say. So brokers utilize something called a musharakah agreement in Islam, meaning both parties will benefit from earnings and losses in trades. This way, each financial party will earn without going against the rule of riba. So non-riba Forex accounts make interest-free trading possible. Therefore, things such as margin trading, day trading, short selling, derivatives, forwards, futures, options, and swaps, you name it, will all be permitted inside those accounts. Now, to compensate for the loss of revenue in the broker's pockets on the interest rate differentials and the lack of interest fees, what they will do is charge larger commissions than a traditional Forex trading account. So you do need to consider this as a cost involved when you're trading with this account type. But what this does, it does enable Muslim or practicing Muslims to overcome the interest charges when they go about their trading activity. And finally, the last thing is whether Forex trading is productive to society or not. Sharia law states an activity that creates wealth from a non-productive activity may be seen as gambling and forbidden. So the notion of non-productive activity leaves a lot to interpretation. If we go back to the horse rider example, who was allowed to wager on himself, it was considered acceptable by the Prophet, peace be upon him, as it was a productive skill necessary for war. Without horse riding, you wouldn't be able to win the wars or take part in the wars at those times. Now, with Forex trading, there are some arguments where this can hold true also. So let me go through those. One of the beliefs is that Forex trading is halal because it requires a skill level to compete against other traders like any other sport. The strategy, the risk management like stop losses, and the approach are important factors to an individual's success and profitability, which shows there is a skill to it. And due to the significant influence of that skill of the investor, you can actually reduce the risk or gharar. Also, Forex trading derivatives allow international businesses, which are huge, to hedge out their risk on imports and exports. So if you're buying a lot of stuff from abroad, you need to hedge out your currency risk, and the only way to do that is with a Forex trading derivative. Hedging is a productive activity that both supports businesses and helps growth and helps employing more staff in a way, therefore making Forex trading an important productive activity to increase cash flow and the number of jobs supplied by those companies. So in certain circumstances, trading can be very, very productive for society. So overall, Forex trading is edging towards being a halal activity under certain conditions that remove gambling, interest, and make it productive to society. So with all that said, here's a quick summary of what we've just been through and what it means for you. To conclude, Islamic trading accounts allow investors to stick to the laws of their religion while simultaneously investing. In addition to this, following Sharia law provides the principle of economic justice. Now, to avoid excess risks, Muslim investors should have a profitable Forex trading strategy, like the global macro trading approach I mentioned earlier, to ensure they're always halal with their activity. Risk without any form of control once money has been invested or has no value to society may fall into a haram activity. And with that said, that concludes this topic. Please drop a like and subscribe for more tips and discussion around the financial world, and keep tuned for our next video. Also, if you'd like to know more about where I source the information, I've added a few links in the description. That's all, folks. Till next time, Marcus from LogicFX.